We're getting close, y'all. Welcome back to Street Scores. It's your boy Rico giving y'all a draft edition of Redskins Report. I'm here to present my second 2018 mock draft. Don't be petty and return to this video in April and point out how stupid I sound. Picks will be traded, free agents will be signed, players will be released or traded, a lot. But let's get it. Here, I'm showing y'all exactly what picks I have for each round, but I'm about to dive into each pick and explain why I have them pick this. Round 1, safety Derwin James out of Florida State. There are several factors that made this pick hard to make. First factor, Vita Vea, who I projected us to get in my first mock draft, is still a monster. My favorite interior defensive lineman in the class. People say he can only play nose tackle, but he played at every spot on the line in Washington, even the edge. Point 2, Doug Williams basically said that we should draft a defensive lineman and running back early in the draft, while Derwin James is a safety. Third, Gruden has high praise for Monte Nicholson, our young starting high free safety. And we also have DJ Swearinger, DeShazer Everett, and Sewell Craven's already on roster. And point 4, our need at safety is not as high as our need at linebacker if we don't re-sign Zach Brown. But here's why I made this pick. Number 1, now that Cincinnati is out of our way with their first round pick traded with Buffalo, and Buffalo is clearly going for a quarterback, our chances of getting Derwin James has significantly increased. Point 2, as much as I love Vita Vea and feel that his value, talent, and potential are irreplaceable, I feel like the same can be said for Derwin James, but Derwin is even more irreplaceable, and I'm going to talk about that more soon. Point 3, even as urgent as our defensive line and running back need are for us, free agency can easily find us a disruptive defensive lineman, and there will be franchise running backs available in the second round. Point 4, even though Monte Nicholson has shown potential to be a multi-Pro Bowl free safety, he has shown some injury concerns, and with Derwin being athletic enough to play free and strong safety, they can both easily be on the field simultaneously. Point 5, I'm hoping we re-sign Zach Brown even if he does ask for the whole bag, because linebackers are hard to come by in free agency, and him paired with Mason Foster, whose value vastly outweighs how much he's getting paid, could be very deadly. They played very well together while Mason Foster was healthy, so I'm not too worried about inside linebacker as long as we re-sign Zach Brown. And 6, the last reason I made this pick, he is a generational talent, y'all. There will not be another Derwin James anytime soon. If he's available at 13, he will be the best player available. And we have a slight need at the position, so it's both best player available strategy and needs filled strategy, all in one player. But let me break down why he's 5 for anybody who does not know for some reason. Derwin James can play free safety, strong safety, and linebacker in certain schemes and instances. He will be the heart of our defense, a vocal, passionate Brian Dawkins type of safety that will demand greatness out of everybody around him and himself. Super alpha dog. He loves film study and even runs and controls film sessions that are not even asked of him by coaches. So many intangibles. But also, he is very athletic. He ran the exact 40 time as Antonio Brown, but he is an entire 5 inches and 30 pounds larger than Antonio. He also bench pressed 21 reps at the combine, which was more than projected top 40 pick Iowa center James Daniel reps, who is an entire 90 pounds heavier than Derwin. Crazy. Derwin also had a ridiculous 132-inch broad jump, which basically tests how explosive you are. And Tremaine Edmonds, who is seen as one of the biggest freaks in nature in this generation, had a 117 broad jump. Minka Fitzpatrick had a 121. Derwin beat Minka by almost an entire foot of explosion. If it were not for Saquon Barkley, Derwin James would probably be the most athletic player in this draft. But now moving on to positional traits. Derwin can play free safety because of his great range. He can go from sideline to sideline very quickly. And he also has a high football IQ, which allows him to read receivers, quarterbacks, and plays. He is quick at processing routes coming into his responsibility and is athletic enough to get there and make the play, whether it be a pass breakup or a hard-hitting tackle. Speaking of tackling, he is a great open field tackler. He has the mechanics down, and his athleticism allows him to react to elusive runners. This makes him a great strong box safety. His size alone allows him to run strong safety and be very disruptive in both the run and passing game. He can cover tight tight ends, slot receivers, and running backs. He is also a very smart and athletic blitzer, which makes him an immediate game changer at the strong safety spot. He is also a good block shredder. He is good at getting offensive linemen off of him so he can make a tackle. He had a down 2017 season because Florida State did not use him well, so he will slide in the draft. Also wish his man coverage was as solid as Minka's, but he will not be asked to play outside corner in the NFL, so I'm not worried about that at all. Please draft him, Washington. He can pretty much do everything you need him to do on the field. He will change the team's identity for 10 plus years. Round 2. Running back Ronald Jones out of USC. Jamal Charles 2.0. I hate player comparisons, especially this one with both of them being the same size and both having dreads, but Ronald Jones really does Jamal Charles 2.0. And it's crazy because we have the quarterback Jamal Charles had his best years with, Alex Smith. It all comes full circle, y'all. It's meant to be. But let me break down this pick beyond the obvious. With Sony Michel, Darius Geis, and Saquon Barkley receiving most of the attention, Ronald Jones is very likely to make it to the 44th pick. Since my last mock, Sony has skyrocketed up people's big boards, but Ronald is not much of a drop off from Sony and Geis. Some people actually like Jones more than Sony. Personally, I don't, but Sony is almost guaranteed to be gone before the 44th pick at this point, while Ronald Jones is gonna be there and is gonna be one of the best kept secrets in the draft. He has great vision and knows how to trust block development, and has the decisiveness and athleticism to burst through small running lanes. His acceleration is elite, and his hips are elite level loose, so he is able to make crazy cuts that most running backs will never be able to make. He also has the speed to bounce runs to the outside when things get ugly. He is also very elusive and fast, so he can make anybody miss an open field tackle with a creative string of moves he can put together. And even with all of this elusiveness, he is not afraid of squaring his shoulder pads and bursting through contact to fight for more yards. He is a fall forward kind of back, which is rare to find in running backs that are as elusive as he is. Ronald Jones is also a decent pass protector and is good at blitz pickup with good blitz recognition and powerful blocks. And with 591 carries, he only had 2 fumbles, which is a very big advantage over Sony Michel and also current running back Samaje Perine. Even though he wasn't utilized as a pass catcher much in USC, he has shown the skills and potential to be the next Alvin Kamara if Jay Gruden wants to use him as such. There is a lot of potential in Ronald Jones. He is only 200 pounds, so he needs to pick up some pounds so he can become an every down back, even though he wouldn't have to do it with Chris Thompson back there with him, but some weight pickup would definitely make him more durable. Get some weight on him and watch teams wonder why they allowed him to slip into the second round.
To the lineup, he'll go 86 for the lead.
Round 4. Linebacker Shaquem Griffin out of Central Florida. Most motivated man in the league the day he is drafted. True hero story. One-handed linebacker that has beat all of the odds. When he was brought to Central Florida, he was literally only brought there in order to get his brother to come there. And then they later on found out that they had some just great athletic gem amongst them. Some people have him mocked in rounds as late as 7, and some people as early as 3rd. It's crazy how big the window is. I think the 4th round is a great spot for him. As a floor, he is an instant special teams difference maker. His tackling is great, he has great technique and athleticism, and he aims to punish people with tackles. And did y'all not see his combine results? At 6'1", 227 pounds, he ran a 4.38 40 time. That's ridiculous. That doesn't even make sense. He's an entire 10 pounds heavier than Adrian Peterson and ran a faster 40 time than the great returner Devin Hester. That's just crazy. Shaquem also has a high football IQ and possesses some great pass rush moves along with some great burst off the edge. Offensive tackles can't even get their hands on him at times. And even when they do touch him, he has pass rush moves to get hands off of him. He's fast with good technique. Opposing NFL coaches will do a better job of putting his missing left hand to the test, but Shaquem has the instincts, technique, and athleticism to make things shake on the NFL level. He can play inside linebacker and outside linebacker, and at the very least, be a dominant, game-changing force in special teams coverage.
With the fullback Nick Sharga along with Hood at running back. All to set up the pass. New tile hit as he throws.
Round 5. Defensive lineman Nathan Shepard out of Fort Hays State. So much raw potential. He is a very underdeveloped, high-ceiling, low-floor defensive lineman. Coming in at 6'5", 315 pounds, he can be a huge force with Matt Ioannidis and Jonathan Allen. And like I said, high-ceiling, low-floor, high-risk, high-reward player. And even though he weighs 315 pounds, he even has more room to get bigger. It's crazy. He came from Canada and then played for Fort Hays State. which is, well, I still don't know where that is. So his competition hasn't been the stiffest, but even with the lack of real competition, you can see his potential. He has big, powerful hands, but he just doesn't know how to use them with great technique and a list of moves. He has great hips to get around blockers, but just doesn't use them as well as he should. And he is also an energetic pursuer even when plays get past him. He runs people down until the play is over. He had a great Senior Bowl, so we got to see him against some nice competition and he did very well. But like I said, he is extremely raw. Might not have much of an impact as a rookie, but can be molded into a dominant force. He takes on double teams with force instead of technique, which is a huge no-no. He needs to improve his technique and his hands a lot. I also want him to play angrier and more violent. He's explosive, but not violent enough. But these are all things Jim Tomsula can fix with the right amount of time and turn this man into a Pro Bowler eventually. Round 6, wide receiver Allen Lazard out of Iowa State. I know, I already made this pick last mock, but the value is too great if we can get him right here. He was recruited by Notre Dame, Stanford, and other big schools, but only chose Arizona State because his dad and his brother both played for them. He has a lot more talent than his school selection would suggest. Allen ran a 4.55 40 time at 6'5", 227 pounds. That is crazy. He could gain some weight and move into the Jordan Reed role since Jordan Reed can't stay healthy. Allen is also a better blocker than Jordan Reed already and has the potential to even get better. Allen is 2 inches taller and somehow faster. Just needs to gain some weight. Allen Lazard is very smart, physical, and athletic. He makes plays in the middle of the field where a lot of receivers are afraid to catch the ball and get hit. He eats the contact while holding onto the ball. Great ball skills, catches the ball at very high points, which makes him the ultimate red zone threat. He is good at catching poorly thrown balls, adjusting the balls thrown behind him and making plays. He catches with his hands and not his body, so that makes him a more consistent catcher than a lot of the receivers in this draft. He is a contested catch monster. He does a great job of using his body to box out defenders before the ball arrives, making his catch window even larger for the quarterback. Alex Smith would love him. And even if Allen cannot gain enough weight to become a receiving tight end, he will be a very deadly red zone third down threat. If you need a couple of yards, just throw it up to him against any defender, and my money is on Allen coming down with the ball. Round 7, wide receiver Antonio Callaway out of Florida. Antonio would be competing with Calvin Ridley for the #1 receiver spot in this draft class if he was not getting into trouble. Didn't play the entire 2017 season at Florida. He is currently living in Atlanta with his agent in order to train and stay out of trouble, which he kept getting into when he was in Florida, which is his home state. Antonio has also been known to not love the weight room or the film room. He's the kind of guy that just wants the ball, the Allen Iverson effect. And even with all of these bad intangibles, he is just too talented, athletic, and explosive to not even give a chance. He has first round talent. That's not arguable. Clearly has first round talent. In 2016, he had Minkah Fitzpatrick looking crazy. The Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah was struggling to guard Antonio. And he's considered a top 5 talent, and Antonio was giving him the business. Antonio is very fast and most importantly, very quick. He abuses press man coverage. He is a pain to cover on slant and crossing routes, virtually unguardable. Man coverage almost has no chance against him. He's too quick. He turns his quickness into speed seamlessly, and when he changes direction in his routes, he almost seems to not lose any of his speed. He has great agility, which allows him to make people miss in open space and get yards after catch, so he's a great yak receiver. And he is also a great leaper for him to only be 5'11". And he has great hands. He can adjust very well to catch over and underthrown balls. And his extra value that just puts the cherry on top, he is a proven kick and punt returner. He is deadly and explosive when returning kicks. So you not only draft a wide receiver 1, you get a deadly special teams upgrade. Putting that 4.41 40 time to use, along with his good technique, route running, athleticism, and ball skills, will make an instant impact on our offense. And at the bare minimum, the lowest of his floor, Antonio and Shaquem would transform our special teams the day we draft them. Instant impact players. Many teams are going into the draft without Antonio even being on their draft boards. He might as well not exist to them. They don't find his trouble worth it or fixable. So he should be available to us in the 7th, maybe even as an undrafted free agent. Drafting him, Alan Lazard, and signing Deshaun Jackson back to a cheap high value contract after he struggled in Tampa Bay, and our recent signing of Paul Richardson, who is basically a baby, great value version of Deshaun Jackson and will take the lid off the defense, would give us an extremely deadly receiving core. With a healthy Chris Thompson and Vernon Davis being immediate game changers, and Jamison Crowder and Josh Doctson being strong contributors, that could be a filthy mixed with Alex Smith's mobility. I'm too excited thinking about it. I need Doug Williams to please take note of my mock draft and just structure your big board around it somehow. These are some ballers I'm giving y'all. I'm giving y'all some gems.
At 4th and 13. On this down, this game, the Gators are 4 for 4 on 4th downs. Snap to Greer. Greer looking, throws the ball, got a receiver. There's a catch made on the near sideline. On the right side, 35-30. It'll be Callaway down the sideline. He's going to score! He's going to score! He's going to score! It's a touchdown! Oh my! Oh my! Antonio Callaway, 63-yard touchdown, and the ball game is tied!
I just saw magic.
And for our second round 7 pick, offensive tackle Brendan Mahone out of Penn State. I know I said tackle, but Mahone will be moved to guard once he goes to the NFL and will fill in perfectly for our left guard hole and fortify this dominant offensive line the way it's supposed to be. He played a lot of offensive tackle at Penn State and was solid at pass protection. He was great against strong pass rushers, but struggled with the speedy ones. But when he moves to guard, that won't be much of a problem for him at all. Let Trent Williams and Morgan Moses deal with those speedy guys. But Mahomes' run blocking was his moneymaker. He was great at run blocking, very consistent, opening lanes for Saquon Barkley all season. He has relatively quick feet and is good at anchoring himself to fight on and push up defensive linemen in his way to create run lanes. He has blocked against great defensive linemen playing in the Big Ten. He did well at neutralizing Maurice Hurst of Michigan State, who is some people's favorite defensive lineman in this draft. Mahomes' ability to pass protect pretty well and run protect very well makes him versatile, and I'm very surprised that people have him such low grades on him. He's only 1 inch shorter and 10 pounds lighter than the Quentin Nelson, the best guard prospect I've seen in years and one of my top 3 prospects in this draft. He's not small for the position. He's the exact same size as Billy Price. He checks all the boxes. Pass protection, check. Run protection, big check. Experience against good competition, big check. He started for Penn State since he was a freshman. And lastly, size, check. I don't get why some people have him ranked so low, but hey, the Washington team will gladly steal him in the 7th round. He would be an immediate impact starter for our offensive line and produce way more than Sean Laval has produced for us the past few years. And as a final disclaimer, I still really like the prospects I talked about in my previous mock draft, but I have to make this more interesting and put y'all on to some game. Tell y'all about some folks y'all may not have watched much film on or heard of, but I honestly do like this mock more because it is better adjusted to our immediate needs and the flow of this year's free agency market. Also, Antonio, Shaquem, and Mahone are ballers. Straight steals in the draft if we get them. Plain and simple. But that's it for this episode. Thanks for the view. I'm going to keep bringing y'all occasional draft updates on what the Redskins organization and Street Scores think of prospects and roster needs from January to April. And I'm also going to keep bringing y'all occasional mock drafts like this one. I got y'all back. Stay locked. Also, get in them comments and let me know what y'all think. Agree, disagree, debate, please. And while you at it, make sure you Dolomite fake punch that like button, favorite, please subscribe, I'll subscribe back, and most importantly, comment and share. And again, thank y'all for the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.